Today I want to talk about potentially the most talked about subject in terms of getting fit, getting healthy, and it's something that I come up against a lot with clients. It can be kind of partway through a program, and that is motivation. So motivation is basically the drive to want to do something, the kind of positive energy, the positive attitude towards achieving a goal. And obviously we'd like to have a good motivation permanently, but that's just never the case. Now, you've probably experienced it yourself when you start something new, your motivation is always very, very high, but maintaining motivation is not always the easiest thing in the world. And that's what we're going to discuss a little bit today. And I'm going to give you my view on how you can keep motivation as high as possible, but also learn to not depend on motivation to keep you moving forward. Because after all, like I say, no one's going to be motivated permanently. All right, what I'm going to talk about today is going to help you be motivated as much as possible, but you can't expect to be motivated permanently because it's just not a realistic thing. So we've got to learn to kind of keep going, even when we're not that motivated, even though we're not at full motivation. Okay, so like I said, when we start something new, there is normally high levels of motivation, and that is because of one thing. It's because there's excitement. Okay, there's excitement that we might be able to get what we want. It's like there's excitement there that we can start achieving things and things are going to start changing for us. So we have that initial burst of excitement. Now, that's what motivation is to me. Motivation is all about how excited you are. And it's in order to keep motivation high, we need to try and keep motivation. We need to try and keep our excitement for the goal as high as possible. And there's various ways to do this. But the key to me is that we keep your belief in the process, in the result at the end, as high as possible. Okay, so if we lack belief in something, we soon lose motivation. We soon lose our excitement, because why would we put the work in if we don't believe in the end result? So getting belief in something is the most important thing. So if we want to be a millionaire, for example, we won't be motivated to achieve that millionaire status unless we can believe that it's actually going to happen. The moment we start believing that it can happen, the moment we start feeling highly motivated, and the moment we start putting all the work in to achieve that result. It's the same with achieving any health and fitness based result. The moment we believe we can get there, the moment we can see it, see the end result, is when we start to put the work in. So what we have to do is keep our excitement levels high, and we have to be able to believe the results there. And we do that by a few different means. So the first one to me is results. So it's very easy to keep motivated, very, very easy to keep motivated when you see constant results, when you can see you're dropping pounds every week, centimeters are falling off. This is the key to keeping that motivation and excitement high, because you're making steps every single day, every single week towards achieving your goals. So it is our job to try and see results. We don't just want to be achieving results, we have to physically see them. So we have to be tracking everything. We have to track everything. So we have to track weight, we have to track measurements, we have to track how we're feeling, we have to track strength in the gym, we have to track progress in all aspects, because we need to be able to see that we're getting back for the hard work that we're putting in. The second thing we have to do to actually see results is we actually have to put the work in. We have to stay consistent with the program, even when motivation might not be as high as we want it to be. So you might have a little drop in motivation, but that should never be at the mercy of it. You should never fall off plan simply because you've got a little bit of motivation. This is where the real discipline comes from. Discipline is not sticking with something when it's easy. Discipline is sticking with it when it's hard. Okay, so we need to improve on our discipline levels, and that comes from practice. So you don't just become disciplined, you become disciplined from actually forcing yourself to stick with things even when you are struggling. Okay, that's how you build discipline. It's about building that mental strength around things. Yeah, so we need to be disciplined enough to stick with things even when we're not highly motivated. That will soon provide a result. That result will soon elevate our motivation, and we'll be back on it. But it's important that we stick it even when we're not feeling 100%, all right? Second thing we need to look at really is we need to be able to, in order to get this belief as high as possible, we need to be able to see a result clear in our mind. So this is one of the most important things. It's a very good practice you can do. I've done it a lot with different clients over the years. Visualization, okay? So two main ways I do this with clients is we can do visualization via meditation. So some people like this, some people don't. Meditation basically involves you going inside and meditating to not your usual kind of meditation where you try and clear your mind. It's more, which I mean this would help, but it's more meditating in a sense that you are getting very, very clear. You are visualizing what the end result is in your mind, and you're imagining what your life would be like once you've got the end result. You're imagining what people would say to you. You're getting so crystal clear on what your life would be like, how happy you are, how positive things look when the results achieved. This is really, really powerful practice you can do, because essentially when we can see it in our mind, our belief begins to come through, and you can instantly make yourself feel better by simply visualizing the end result instantly. Okay, so visualization is a very, very important tool, very effective tool to keeping your belief high and your excitement high, and in turn your motivation high. Okay, goal setting is another way of doing this. So goal setting and mapping out your step-by-step process of the end result and all the steps in between, and then this links in with your tracking the process throughout and making sure you're hitting every target along the way. This is another way. You're kind of visualizing the process, mapping out the whole process in one, and then you're just ticking it off box by box, and you can see every step. This is another way to keep you motivated, because you can see the process down on paper. You can just see it there, and it will keep some structure around it. Yeah. And then the last thing we're going to talk about, in order to keep this belief sky high, we have to look at feeling good, right? So feeling good comes from really the physical and the mental. Okay, so feeling good, yes, feeling good is about our mental. We've discussed this, kind of visualizing, creating positive visualizations in your mind. It's also about mental. It's all about the kind of conversations you have with yourself. How positive are they? You want to be able to create a positive kind of chat going on in your mind. And this again comes from practice. You want to be able to talk to yourself in a very positive way. You want to be able to imagine your life being a positive life. Imagine your results being positive. Try and think positive. Again, this is not what some people have and some people don't. This is a practicing thing. If you practice one, you'll get very good at one and you'll naturally do it. If you practice the other one, you'll get very good at that. So you need to start practicing good self-talk, like positive self-talk, to back up your motivation, back up your belief, and get you excited again. The other way you feel good is from the physical things. So the main things here are your sleep, your exercise, and your nutrition. So a lot of people disregard sleep. It's such an overlooked aspect of everything in terms of how you feel on a day-to-day basis, your motivation levels, your discipline, your kind of hunger levels, everything. All of these things are affected by your sleep. And people don't realize this. Studies will prove this time and time again, that you are less likely to stick with your diet if you've slept poorly. You're less likely to work and certainly perform well at work. You're less likely to show up to the gym. You're less likely to talk to yourself in a positive way. You're less likely to look at life positively and imagine a positive outcome to it. It affects literally everything, not just how you feel physically, but also how you talk to yourself and how good you feel on a day-to-day basis. So getting your sleep on point is a very important aspect of feeling good, having belief around your goals, being excited around your goals, and having high levels of motivation. Okay. Training, of course, exercise. We all know that exercise positively impacts how we feel on a day-to-day basis. It's also going to help us achieve our goals. So making sure you're still training hard and putting the work in, even when you don't feel so good. Achievement is another thing. You need to be able to achieve things. We spoke about results. You need to be able to see results. But pushing hard enough in the gym when you're exercising in order to get a result, to make progress, to get an achievement from every session is going to give you a positive, it's going to feed back positively to you, make you feel good, and again, it will feed back all the way to motivation. So you need to be able to make every session count, get some progress in your session. Maybe you're not progressing, you haven't progressed in weight that week, but maybe you're getting stronger. That gives you positive emotion, positive feedback. So being able to train, even when your motivation isn't as high as you'd like it to, will help you stay highly motivated, or at least rekindle that motivation. Nutrition, of course. So obviously nutrition, all these things are going to affect hormones, chemicals inside the body, nutrition more than most, but nutrition is going to be key. If you're eating a poor nutrient diet, a low nutrient diet, then it's going to affect a lot of things. It's going to affect how your hormones are function, chemicals are function, you're mentally, you're going to feel it, you're going to feel again less positive, you're going to feel less energized, which again affects all of this. So making sure you're actually getting in good quality food, and not just sticking plainly with a macro-based diet, a macronutrient-based diet, and focusing purely on your proteins, carb, and fat contents. You need to be getting in good quality fruits and vegetables, some nuts, some good quality fats. You just need to get a wide variety, different colours. Really, really important. You need to get different colours into your diet, because different colours of fruit and veg tend to suggest they've got different nutrients, different vitamins in. So where you're lacking in vitamins and minerals, it tends to be the place that's going to affect you the most. So it's important that your nutrition is also on point, because again, that will feed back to all of this stuff. You won't even notice most of this. Most people don't even make the connection that their poor diet is making them feel really bad, negative on a day-to-day basis, or their sleep is affecting it. But when you start to become more aware of how you feel when you've slept really well, when you've ate really well, when you've stuck to your training regime, you see just how big of an impact this has on your whole life, not just your physical development, how you're changing, whether you're dropping body fat, but also how you perceive life, like your positivity around it. It's really, really important. I personally know that if I've not slept well, I can turn very negative around things. Whereas if I've slept well and I'm looking after myself, my self-talk, my belief around things is through the roof. So, but I'm just aware of that. What most people need to do is just start becoming a little bit more aware of things, yeah? Aware of how they're feeling and what might be causing that lack of motivation or just the feeling of low energy, yeah? So, to recap on all that, motivation is about excitement. Excitement for the end result. We need to get as excited as possible about the end result. Now, the ways we do this is we try and create as much belief in the end result as possible. If we feel like the end result isn't going to be achievable, we're never going to be highly motivated enough to stick with the process that achieves the result, okay? So what we then need to do is we need to get some results as fast and efficiently as possible. So we need to track everything so we can see it clear as day on paper. We need to stay consistent even when we're not feeling great, so that we can get the result that we're tracking, so we can feel good off the back of it. We need to visualize the end result. We need to be able to see on paper, see in our minds what it looks like for us to achieve that end result. What would it look like for you to feel absolutely shredded walking down the beach on holiday? What would people think? What feeling would it give you back? What would it feel like to kind of be your ideal weight? What would people say? What would it do for you in your life? How good would it make you feel? You've got to really get deep into that and feel the emotion behind it. Goal setting. Everyone should be doing this. You need to set yourself very, very clear goals on what you want your life to be like, physically, mentally. How do you want to feel on a day-to-day basis? And then again, visualize what it feels like. Okay. Once you get the emotional connection to it, you'll feel 10 times more motivated for it. Feeling good, we need to look at our physical health, we need to look at our mental health. So we need to look at mindfulness, we need to start talking to ourselves in a positive way, backing up positive self-talk, backing up, basically just feeding back positive information into our minds. So this is easier for some than others, but we need to basically just practice talking to ourselves in a positive manner. Sleep, we need to make sure we're getting sleep. 7 hours plus is ideal, but you don't want to be getting less than 6 on a regular basis. Training, we need to make sure we're exercising on a regular basis, push ourselves, getting a sense of achievement every time we do. Nutrition, we need to make sure we're getting a wide range of minerals, nutrients, a good balance of macronutrients, just hitting all aspects of health. We need to be making sure we're getting some good fats in there. We need to be making sure that we're well hydrated. All of this, if you can put all of this into practice, which isn't massive, it's not like it's flipping going to take you a whole, it's not going to take so much energy to do all of this. But if you can do all this, I guarantee your motivation will certainly see an improvement.